iPhone 5 launches internationally, YouTube monetizing in their iOS app, Tim Cook visiting the Palo Alto store, Jobs' yacht, and Amazon lies. It's Monday, October 29th, 2012, and this is iWake. I'm Tim Chaten, and this is what's going on in the Apple world today. Good morning, and before we get into the Apple world today, let's get into some just meta news about myself and news that does affect the show. So as I told iWake Again subscribers last week, I am in fact moving from Hawaii to New Hampshire of all places. I'll be working with GTI Spindle, leading up their marketing department, and I'm very excited about that opportunity in the move. So how will this affect the show? Well, I'll be flying out Friday to Los Angeles, where I'll spend a week there, and I will then on November 10th be landing in Manchester, New Hampshire, and from there I'll be basically living there and working there and things like that. So how will this affect the show? Well, the week that I'm in Los Angeles, there will be hit and miss shows. I may have a show, I may not. I'm going to try to do shows as often as I can. I'll try to be posting to YouTube as often as I can. YouTube may be an easier place for me to get content out, so check my YouTube channel during that week especially. And then as I move to New Hampshire, it may be a couple of days before I have internet access at home, so the show may be on hiatus for a week or two. I'm going to try to do it as often as I can, try to do it as much as I can, but it will be a bit of a crazy few weeks as I do move and all that goes down. And going into the holiday season, there may be less news as Thanksgiving creeps up. So basically to say, I am moving and the show may be a bit sporadic, but my intent is to keep doing this show. It just may slow down and may not be every day, at least for a couple of weeks. So with all that said, let's get into the news for today. First up, iPhone 5. It is launching November 2nd in more countries. And so far, the countries we know about are Croatia, Dominican Republic, Mexico, Bulgaria, Malta, Romania, and Thailand. If you're in any of those countries, congrats. The iPhone 5 is coming to a store near you on November 2nd when we all get our iPad minis. So very cool news there. I'm sure more countries are in that mix that we just don't know about quite yet. But anyways, iPhone 5 launching there. Next up is some app news. First up is YouTube. I noticed on their iOS app that my videos are actually showing ads now. So previously I just got paid by viewers on desktop computers. Now if you visit my videos on the YouTube app for iOS, the official app, you will now see ads, which means if you click on those, if you tap on those I should say, I get paid. So if you want to pay me money, that's one way to do it. I'm not supposed to promote that, but that is the way I do make money. I do get paid through YouTube, and it's very cool to see them add that to the iOS app. In other app news is Evernote 5 for Mac. So lots of cool new features coming with Evernote 5. It's a redesigned look and feel in many ways. They have a sidebar that's much more useful, having your most used notes and notebooks up at the top. They also have a recently used area, and they've basically just made the whole interface a lot cleaner and more polished. So if you're an Evernote user, I think it's an exciting time. The beta is coming out sometime this week. The one missing feature I have not yet heard about is selective sync. We currently have that for iOS, the ability to sync only what we need. I have not yet seen that for Evernote 5, and my comment about it was not approved by the Evernote staff team. So I'm curious if they're trying to not have that feature request come out for some odd reason. So I'm not quite sure about that. But anyways, Evernote 5 looks to be a solid improvement, and big fan of Evernote, and exciting news there. Next up is Tim Cook simply visiting the new Palo Alto store. So Palo Alto has a new flagship store, and he visited on Saturday during their launch. So very cool. There's pictures to see him in action, visiting the local store there, dressed in a black polo shirt and blue jeans. And very cool to see the CEO doing that. So if you were at the store, I'd say cool for you, I guess. Next up, Internet Archive. So the archive, where we get the Wayback Machine, and all sorts of other archived content. They've crossed the benchmark of 10 petabytes of data. So that is, for those keeping track, 10 million gigabytes of information. They now hold almost 1.5 million audio files and over 1 million public videos. And it's a great site that has been really beneficial to me when writing my book about the iPod, getting access to old websites that are long gone. Next up today, in other internet news, I should say, is Google. Google has canceled, or delayed, I should say, their event in New York City, I believe, is where it was going to be held, about Android. The Hurricane Sandy is the cause of this, and I'm sure they'll have a rescheduled event soon, hopefully, to see what they're releasing. Next up is Steve Jobs. He has a yacht that has been in the design for a while. He's been working on this for a while. He is currently not working on it as he's no longer with us, but the designer has finally finished out his vision of what this yacht should be. So the yacht, named the Venus, measures 70 to 80 meters long, features a very nice sun terrace, a large jacuzzi. Its hull is made entirely out of aluminum, making it much more agile and lighter than any other yacht of its kind. So very cool. It's got a continuous pane of structurally reinforced glass that wraps around the bow, and it even has a row of 27-inch iMacs to control the ship. And I found out that these are in fact the new iMacs. So I'm curious if this yacht has the iMacs before anybody else has them. These are not yet for sale. I'm curious how long these new iMacs have been a part of the boat. The workers on the people that worked on the ship were given iPod shuffles from the Jobs family. I'm not sure why they weren't given iPhone 5s or something a little bit more expensive, but a nice gesture all the same. So if you want more information about this or a little video about this, I found this in the Colton Mac, but the onemorething.nl, I believe, is the place that had the video. So that is that. It is very cool to see this yacht come to fruition and finally be a thing. So it is out there now, and it looks like a beautiful boat that definitely has Steve Jobs' touch to it. So with that said, last up today is a bit of a rant about Amazon. Now, I love Amazon. They do some great things. They offer some nice competition to Apple. But when a company lies, when a company slants the truth in a way that is seemingly wrong, I have to take offense to that. I have to call them out on it. And here is the case of that. So Amazon on their homepage has compared the iPad mini to their Amazon's Kindle Fire HD. They open on their homepage by saying, your Apple's 7.9-inch tablet has far fewer pixels than the competing 7-inch tablets. You're cramming a worse screen in there, charging more, and accusing others of compromise. Ballsy. That's from Gizmodo. So right off the bat, you're quoting Gizmodo, who is notoriously not a reputable publication. And that statement alone I don't think is accurate. Sure, it's less pixels, but it's a bigger screen and more usable of a tablet. So then they go on to say much more for less. They compare Kindle Fire HD versus iPad mini. Stunning HD display with 30% more pixels than iPad mini versus iPad mini at standard definition low resolution display. 163 pixels per inch on iPad mini versus 216 pixels per inch on iPad mini. They say watch HD movies and TV versus no HD movies or TV. Dual speakers, stereo speakers on Kindle Fire versus mono speaker. Ultra fast MIMO Wi-Fi, and they don't even say anything about the iPad mini, which has that same exact Wi-Fi information. They say the price $199 versus $329. So right off the bat, a couple things. The iPad mini does 720p HD, so it does display that video content. That's number one. And it's very misleading to say no HD movies or TV. And it's just misleading because, first off, it does HD. And it's not just standard definition. It's not a low resolution display. It's higher resolution than the iPad 2, which is a good display. From all accounts, those that have had hands-on with the iPad mini, it's a great display. Sure, it doesn't have as many pixels, but it's a better, more usable display than that of the Kindle Fire. So beyond that, they do a comparison spec sheet. They're comparing a 7-inch device to a practically 8-inch device. And they say the resolution's better, but the screen size is what really matters, right? This 4:3 aspect ratio gives you access to tablet quality apps. The screen size of 7.9 inches gives you much more usable of a tablet. The Wi-Fi is just as fast, I believe, as Amazon's. The cameras are said by Amazon to be both HD cameras at front-facing, and they don't even mention the great camera included with the iPad mini. They make a note of saying interoperability, buy once, enjoy everywhere. They say limited, most Apple content can only be used on select Apple products. And sure, that's a thing, but that's not really a bad thing, I don't think, for most people that are in the Apple ecosystem. They quote that X-Ray for movies is not there, that Kindle Free Time is not there. They quote that the Prime Instant Video is not available for the iPad. And this I really have to just yell at Amazon for. That what is going on there? Do they not know? Does Amazon not know that they have in fact released an application that does everything the Kindle Fire HD does? It streams HD video over 25,000 popular movies and TV shows at no additional cost. So that feature is available to the iPad and the Kindle Fire. There is no advantage there. None whatsoever. So Amazon is lying. They are misadvertising the iPad in this arena. And it's quite sad. And the thing about the Kindle Fire is, sure, it's a great little media consumption device. But that's just it. The Kindle Fire HD, these 16:9 aspect ratio tablets, are media consumption devices. They are not true tablets. They're media tablets designed only for watching video and perhaps doing some games and things like that. But the aspect ratio is not optimized for any kind of tablet usage, and I really have to call them out on that. It's a bad comparison, a very slanted comparison. They make no mention of iMessage, of FaceTime, of all of the advantages of the Apple ecosystem. There are several advantages to being in the Apple ecosystem that is just simply not mentioned here. They mention all of the Amazon benefits, but none of Apple's, such as iCloud, such as AirPlay, all of the great things that the operating system itself has as an advantage. So this is just slanted and in poor taste. So yeah, I'm sorry, Amazon. I want to love you, but when you do stuff like this, it makes me want to never use products from you guys. I mean, it really doesn't. So yeah, that's what's going on in the Apple world today. Enough said. You can find the show notes over at iWakePodcast.com. I also do videos over at youtube.com/TCHATEN. What else? I do this thing called iWake Again on the weekends. Basically, it's at iWakePodcast.com/again. Gives you access to the scripts I read from, as well as an extra episode on the weekends, either Sunday or Saturday. And that's available at iWakePodcast.com/again for $10. It's a way to financially support iWake. The other way to financially support iWake is through YouTube, just watching the videos there. And that's a good way to support iWake as well. So thanks for listening or watching. I'll talk to everyone again tomorrow for another edition of iWake. Aloha. Have a great day.